It's midnight in East Africa. It's 11 p.m. in Southern Africa. And in Nigeria and indeed in West Africa, the time is 10 p.m. Let's take a look at the top stories tonight. Explosion destroys Popular Mall, impacts other buildings in Ibadan, Nigeria. President Tinubu meets security chief over rising insecurity. U.S. court orders return of looted $8.9 million to Nigeria. Thanks for joining us on Nigeria Tonight. I'm Kurfi. Bartels. Let's begin by telling you that parts of a popular Ace Mall, Bodija, Ibadan, Oyo State, has collapsed after an explosion shattered windows at multiple locations, including homes and buildings in the Bodija axis of Ibadan, Oyo State. We don't know exactly the source of that incident, but it occurred before 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday when a loud explosion was heard within the city. Thousands of residents reported hearing and feeling the vibrations on social media. The cause of the explosion or where it originated from is yet to be ascertained. There are no reports of a tremor in the area, but preliminary investigation is suggesting that it may be from a gas explosion, of an explosion from a gas station. Like I said, we don't know yet. This explosion was heard in Alaro at Poli, Ibadan axis, UI, Monia axis, Awoto, Apete, Oju, and Jeja axis or areas of Ibadan. In the meantime, Seyi Makinde, governor of Oyo State, has appealed for calm while assuring the citizens of the state that their interests will be looked after. We'll bring you some updates on that as we get feeds on that explosion. In other news, former Nigerian President Bola Tinubu has publicly declared his unwavering support for the leadership of Bola Tinubu, the current president, and indeed for the All Progressives Congress. Now, Buhari made this affirmation during the book launch event of his former special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina. The event showcased the unveiling of a book titled Working with Buhari, and comprehensive series titled Muhammadu Buhari, The Nigerian Legacy 2015 to 2023, volumes 1 to 5, which delves into Buhari's 8 years in office. The reaffirmation of Buhari's commitment to Tinubu's leadership comes amid a backdrop of political developments and signals a continued alliance within the APC. To security matters now, President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday convened a high-level meeting with key service chiefs and heads of security, with the service chiefs and heads of key security agencies at the State House in Abuja. The meeting comes in response to the escalating insecurity that has gripped various parts of Nigeria, with a particular focus on the recent lapses in security at the center of power, the Federal Capital Territory. In attendance at the meeting were top military officials, including the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, and the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, as well as the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. Representatives from other security outfits were also present. While there has been no official briefing on the meeting, it is anticipated that President Tinubu and the security chiefs will thoroughly assess the recent security lapses across Nigeria, in particular, with focus on the devising effective strategies to counter the growing audacity of criminals, including kidnappers and bandits. In a related development, Minister of Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory has accused Area Council chairmen of abdicating their responsibilities, thus escalating insecurity challenges being witnessed in the capital of Nigeria. Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, during a security meeting with heads of security agencies and the chairman of the councils over the rise in kidnapping in the capital, says efforts will be put in place, or measures will be put in place, to end the kidnapping. Amadinuyi Our correspondent in Abuja brings his report.
With kidnappings in the FCT notably on the rise, the case of Nabia Al-Qadriya, a 400-level student of the Ahmadu Bello University, who was recently killed by kidnappers after her abduction, and her family's inability to pay a 60 million naira ransom, many Nigerians have expressed anger over the inability of security operatives to do anything to stop the scourge. The military recently attempted to allay the fears of residents, saying operations have commenced in the area and assuring that the kidnappers will be brought to book.
I'll say that operations are ongoing to root out activities of these extremists posing a threat to the FCT following recent reports. As I speak to you, operations are ongoing at those locations. In the last 1 week, we have arrested several of them, and they are providing intelligence to support our operations.
This, however, has not had much results, as it has not relieved the tension being experienced by residents. The Minister of Nigeria's Federal Capital recently summoned heads of security agencies and area council chairmen of the 6 area councils within Abuja over the insecurity situation being experienced.
All of us are aware of the security situation in the Federal Capital Territory, particularly Buhari and some other areas that were witnessed security challenges.
He assured residents that there is no need to panic, saying efforts will be put in place to nip kidnapping in the bud.
We owe a duty to make sure that this place is safe. We'll do all we can, and we're sure Nigerians who reside here that there's no need for panic. We're taking every step to make sure that those challenges are things that we must have to resolve.
The minister, however, took a swipe at area council chairmen, accusing them of abdicating from their duties and responsibilities. He says many of them remain absentee chairmen who are never found at their places of assignment.
We have gotten reports that council chairmen travel anytime, and then if anything happens, of course, they will not call anybody's name. They will call the FCT minister.
With promises made to address the FCT's insecurity challenges, many residents will be hoping that the federal capital becomes safer. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Interesting developments in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Well, to further discuss this, I'm joined tonight by the Managing Director of Tarmac Security Limited, Ipalibo Inkotaria. It's good to have you join us on the program tonight. Let's begin this way. Ms. Inkotaria, what specific measures, and we've asked this question many times, we're asking again, what measures, security measures and strategies need to be implemented to effectively address the rising incidents of kidnappings and banditry in Nigeria's federal capital?
We have been advocating the use of technology in fighting and combating crime. And over the years, that recommendation has not been adopted by the federal government. Whenever victims are kidnapped, the kidnappers communicate with the relatives via their handsets. So if they are communicating with people, it means that we could actually get their location on the network that is being used for communication. And with that, their locations could be tracked Now, it's not rocket science. These things are doable, these things are achievable. So it now behoves on the FCT minister, the heads of security agencies, to swing into action using technology to track and locate and arrest the kidnappers.
How crucial is the collaboration between the heads of security agencies? You know, we saw the president there meeting with the service chiefs. How crucial is the collaboration between them on one side and officials of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, including the minister, the council chairman, traditional rulers, and all that, you know, in tackling this issue?
The president has been meeting with service chiefs, and so far as we are concerned, the meetings have not produced any result. Nigerians are vulnerable. Now they've taken the battle to the FCT. And so it shows clearly that all the meetings they've been having has not worked. So now it's time for them to go beyond the meetings to swing into action. Whatever network, they could establish contact with the father of the girls. Whatever network was used to communicate with him, they have the authority to have access to the database of that network. And I'm telling you, in less than 10 minutes, the location of those people will be tracked. And if they are tracked, they could be surrounded and they could be arrested. Yes, there could be casualties in the process, but then for the greater good, the kidnappers will be arrested.
All right.
You don't need to call for a meeting to kill a snake. The snake is biting, and all you need to do is to kill it.
All right. So instead of sitting down with the service chiefs to talk, they just need to swing into action and bring the president a report that we've rescued these girls. There's nothing to talk about. That's what you're saying.
That is what we are saying. That is what we are saying. You don't need, if you are a service chief and you have to hold a meeting with the commander-in-chief before you can give results, then you are not supposed to be there. You should be fired. It's as simple as that. For you to be a general in the Nigerian army, and then you cannot get a simple result as rescuing kidnapped girls, and then you are going for a meeting. What meeting are you going for? Before now, you've been given your brief. You know what you are expected to do. That's why you're a service chief.
Just a quick one before my next question. You have the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, someone you're familiar with as a Rivers man yourself. But before I ask this next question, I'm told we have to go for an advert break. We'll be back and then we'll continue the conversation on Nigeria Tonight. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's still Nigeria Tonight, right here on News Central TV. It's security expert Ipalibo Inkotera still with us as we are trying to understand what's going on with Nigeria's security, especially with the breaches in security in the country's capital, Abuja. Ipalibo Inkotera, before we went on the break, I was trying to find out from you your thoughts on what your fellow Riversman, Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, is saying, accusing, basically putting the blame on the area council chairman. What role do you think the area council chairman can play and should have played in preventing some of these incidents we're seeing in Buhari and other parts of Abuja?
Well, Nyesom Wike is just playing the blame game because they are area council chairmen, but they are limited in scope. They do not have the firepower to protect the people within their council. At most, they are political leaders and administrative leaders. So whatever responsibility they have, they still have to depend on security agencies to provide security for their council members or the people within their council. So shifting the blame to them, so far as I'm concerned, does not make sense. If as the FCT minister, he wants to protect the people in FCT, then he should work with the security agencies and collaborate at most with the council chairman and the traditional rulers to develop a working solution, not shifting the blame to them. So far as I'm concerned, it is the duty of the federal government to protect Nigerians, not only in the FCT, but all over the country.
How can community engagement and public awareness be leveraged as part of the holistic approach to address the security challenges in the FCT? Do the communities have a part to play?
Yes, without doubt, communities have their part to play, because when you are talking about security, it involves everybody. But you cannot shift the responsibility of protecting citizens to the community. The role for the community to play is clearly defined. You can organize the community into vigilante groups and surveillance units that will pick local intelligence, escalate to the security agencies for further actions. So at best, that is what the community effort could generate, local intelligence that is supposed to be used by security agencies. Because the community, they are number one, they are not armed. And then number two, I doubt if they even have the quality of training that is required for them to be able to generate the intelligence that could be useful. But then you could train them and expect them to feed you with intelligence that you will use. So generally speaking, everybody is involved in security, but everybody's part must be clearly defined so that we individually play our different roles. And then when it happens, the security agents should know what to do with the information given to them.
Okay, let's look at long-term strategies before we go. What long-term strategies need to be employed, to secure Abuja? Do we need to see, like you talked about technology, maybe a CCTV coverage and satellite surveillance of sorts on Abuja, which is not in place till now? The CCTV scandal of yesteryears has still not been sorted out. Do we need to see that? Do we need to see more police being deployed to Abuja? What long-term strategies would you say for this particular issue of kidnapping in the president's backyard?
Well, the long-term strategy that will prevent crime in FCT and Nigeria at large essentially is for the federal government to take security as a very serious matter, and then to spend the money that is being allocated for security. What we see playing out is that they allocate monies for security solutions, but we do not see the disbursement, and we do not see the prudent utilization of those funds. So if we can talk all we care, if the federal government lacks the political will and the funding, the appropriate funding to provide the solution that is required, we will still not be able to get results. So if they want the solution, they can contact some of us. We have the strategies, we have the solution, we provide security solutions, and then we will deliberate, and then if they're ready to spend money, then they'll see an end to insecurity, not only in the FCT, but all over Nigeria. So far as I'm concerned, we have countries that have fought insecurity to a standstill, and today they are said to be enjoying safety in their countries. There is template for that. We could, look at what they have done correctly and localize the operations and get a better result in our country.
All right, Tipali Boengo-Taria, security expert, it's good to have had you on the new program tonight. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Nigeria Tonight continues in Plateau State, where the governor has restated his administration's commitment in ensuring the security of both life and property in the state. Now, this is arising from the magnitude of losses recorded in the Christmas Eve attacks, which left scores of people dead and many injured. News Central's Chizoba Aniowe tells us more.
It is no longer news how badly and sadly locals in Bokos, Mangu and Barkin-Ladi local government areas of Plateau State spent their 2023 Christmas. This has left many people thinking of what the causes were, those behind the acts, and what the government can do to avoid a repeat occurrence. Governor Caleb Mutfwang says among measures to bring back peace in the state, the welfare of security agencies will be prioritized as a way of appreciating their efforts to do more.
I want to salute the GOC. Since he came on board, I have seen the GOC demonstrate great professionalism. And I have seen how he has been able to earn the trust of his officers and men. No wonder, I think the other day, Mangu, I heard some of them calling him game-changing. As governor, by the grace of God, I will do my best among the committee of governors to advocate for better welfare for our security agencies.
At the recent event to host the governor, the GOC 3 Armored Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven said the Nigerian Army will stop at nothing in fulfilling their mandates.
We acknowledge that challenges exist. However, we shall not despair nor become despondent. We are aware of the sophistication and complexities that lie with current dynamic security challenges. Yet, I am confident that by maintaining our unity, cooperation, dedication, and the relentless pursuit for peace, we will overcome any obstacle that comes our way.
Meanwhile, victims of the attacks are still on the road to recovery, while the stabilized ones among them have been discharged from different health facilities. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba Aniowe.
Thank you, Chizoba. You're watching Nigeria Tonight on News Central Television. And coming up, National Rotation Agency warns against the abuse of national currency. We'll have details of these story and others when we come back from our break. Stay with us. If you've just joined us, you're watching Nigeria Tonight, right here, News Central TV. Reminder of our top stories. Explosion rocks Ibadan, destroying several buildings, including the popular Ace Mall. President Tinubu meets security chiefs over rising insecurity. U.S. court orders return of looted $8.9 million to Nigeria. Take more stories now. A royal court in Jersey, United States of America, has reportedly ruled that stolen assets worth £6.9 million or $8.9 million be repatriated to Nigeria. The court's decision stems from the allegations that assets were diverted by Nigerian government officials in 2014 under the pretense of purchasing arms to combat terrorism by Boko Haram. The funds, which were deposited in a New Jersey or in a Jersey bank account, are believed to have been misappropriated by officials within the Nigerian government during that period. Controversies had surrounded the arms procurement for the fight against insurgency, particularly with accusations against the then National Security Advisor, Sambo Dasuki, who was alleged to have diverted funds intended for security equipment during the administration of then-President Goodluck Jonathan. In a related development or incident in 2014, a private jet was apprehended in South Africa carrying $10 million in cash. purportedly earmarked for the purchase of military weapons. The Nigerian currency, the Naira, is currently trading above 1,300 Naira to the US dollar on the peer-to-peer cryptocurrency window as at Tuesday. This is as many traders on the parallel market confirmed that the national currency is trading at close to 1,300 Naira to the dollar in that segment of the market. On the Binance platform, the Naira is currently quoted above 1,300 Naira to the US dollar. Now, some foreign exchange or Forex Bureau operators told a national newspaper that the quoted value is reflective of market realities. An Abuja Forex Bureau seller at Zone 4, Magaji Mohammed, said the price had increased to 1,300 Naira to the US dollar. Naira's continued fall is happening despite efforts by the government to boost liquidity in the official markets. Recently, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited got $2.25 billion of a $3.3 billion all for cash loan facility from the African Export-Import Bank to boost FX liquidity. Joining me now on this particular topic, we have Kasim Garba Kofi. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Apt Securities and Fund. A very good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Kurfi, before I go on to my other questions, for the black market or parallel market and peer-to-peer market prices, we're hearing, for instance, 1,300 Naira quoted to the dollar, which is above the official rate. How do these Forex Bureau or Bureau de Change operators arrive at such figures, such rates?
Well, they operate depending on the demand and supply for the market. Don't forget, the official rate before streamlining the exchange rate was $450. Today, the official rate is over 900. So what it means, the official rate have already increased by more than 100%. But when you look at the parallel market, it was trading around 600 to 700, and now you are talking about 1,003. So it's yet to move at the rate that the official rate has moved. But definitely sure, when the official rate moves a step forward, the parallel market will go much higher. And one of the reasons is that a lot of our transactions would like to do it over the counter. We don't want to go and follow the necessary procedure to get it. And even those who follow that procedure are not guaranteed that they will get the enough currency from the bank. So because of this lack of scarcity, the only option available for them is to go to the parallel market.
Yeah, but Mr. Kurfi, what I'm trying to find out from you is, how do these Forex bureaus, which actually should not be selling or buying US dollars and Naira outside the government-approved rate or the official rates, because it's called black market or parallel market for a reason. How do these guys who operate on the parallel market arrive at their rates? Like today we're hearing 1,300 Naira. Do they have a WhatsApp group? Do they have a meeting? Is it market forces? If it's market forces, how is it that the man in Jos, who has different market situations and realities of supply and demand, the man in Calabar, the man in Abuja, all at the same time having to buy dollar at 1.3 above what the government or the official rate is? How do they arrive at it?
Well, the truth of the matter, the price you hear is not arrived unanimously. As I'm talking to you, even in Lagos, the price at the Broad Street is different from the price at Ikeja, the same differ at the airport and Apapa. But most of the differences may not be between 5 to 20 Naira. A lot of people traded at the Broad Street around 1,275. So only very few that have traded as much as that 1,003. But people currency have to trade it at that because they need hard currency. And hard currency, that means it's not physical. They want a dollar that is transferred from bank to bank. And in most cases, this has a margin of 20 to 25 Naira above the physical dollar you are looking for. Why is it so? The simple reason is very obvious. If assuming that your television today decided to assign you to go to Cote d'Ivoire, I believe you that if you apply through the official rate, you may not get it until the game is over. So the only option available for you is to come to the parallel market, pay cash, and get it instantly.
So Mr. Kurfi, these guys on the parallel market, sorry to interject, I'm so sorry, sir. Where do they get their US dollars from?
Simple. Remember that there is over $20 billion US dollar come to Nigeria through the diaspora. Diaspora is the individual that work for their money. Can you compel them to go through the official rate? The answer is no. It's their money. So once they send their money, they ask their relation to collect the US dollar. And there is willing Nigeria who are to collect it even at the abroad and pay the Naira to their relative here. That is how it makes life very easier. Remember, this money, they work hard to earn their livings. And therefore, they do not get any government subsidy, and there is no any compulsion to force them to pass their money through the official rate.
Okay. Okay, I just want to ask you quickly, with the injection of FX, we talked about the Afrexim Bank loan. What do you expect to happen? Do you think that this injection of liquidity will help the Naira become stable and even firm up against the dollar?
Yes, it will help. Because by the time the CBN distribute this to the bank and make more availability of this US dollar, it will reduce the tension in the bank. And once it reduces the tension in the bank, the foreign market have no choice than their price to go down. Don't forget that the Dangote refinery and Port Harcourt refinery have started working. And a lot of dollars are being used to import the refined product. And this is another relief. So by so means that CBN has less dollar to spend to import the product. And therefore they can divert those excess dollar into other means where there is necessity for them. And if this is so that will reduce the tension. And the more you make the money available to the bank, the less the tension, the less the rising of the prices, and the more the parallel market go down. Because the parallel market is the function of the availability of the currency in the bank. If it is there, people want to rush to the bank. Don't forget that today, banks are trading in less than 1,000 per dollar. So why should you go and buy it at 1,003? So if you can get it at less than 1,000, you will not like to spend more to buy it. So it is more availability in the bank, and the less the price in the parallel market rise.
All right. It remains to be seen if Nigerians will be able to withdraw or to exchange their Naira for dollars when that 2.25 at the banks, when that 2.25 billion dollar hits the federal government's account. Thank you very much, Kasim Garba Kofi, CEO APT and APT Securities and Funds, for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Nigeria Tonight, we'll be right back after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Nigeria Tonight right here on News Central Television. Let's move to our next story. Shell has agreed to sell its Nigerian onshore oil business to a consortium of local companies for over $1.3 billion US dollars, marking a significant shift in the energy giant's operations. The deal, subject to government approval, of course, allows Shell to exit the challenging operating environment in the Niger Delta. The company has faced long-standing disputes with local communities over oil spills and human rights violations, conflicting with its sustainability goals. Well, Shell's Nigerian subsidiary, the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited, popularly known as SPDC, will be sold for $1.3 billion US dollars, with an additional payment of up to $1.1 billion US dollars for prior receivables. The Renaissance Consortium, is consisting of local oil exploration and production companies, will take over responsibility for spills and other issues. Now, it is important to note that Shell's exit from onshore operations in Nigeria does not encompass its liquefied natural gas plant and other assets in the country. To discuss this further, I'm glad to welcome to Nigeria tonight development economist and investment banker Nnaemeka Obiaraeri. Good evening to you, sir, and thank you very kindly for your time tonight.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
What are your thoughts on this development? How will Shell's sale of its onshore oil business, and we've been hearing about this for some years now. I actually thought it had already happened. How will this development in Nigeria impact the general oil and gas industry, the energy sector in the country?
To be very honest with you, Shell sold to local investors, a consortium of local investors. And of course, they gave reasons why they are putting their onshore assets. Of course, Shell has offshore assets, even deep offshore assets that are not susceptible to sabotage, to breakages and all those stuff from saboteurs within the system. Of course, the local operators are Nigerians. They are operate here in Nigeria, and I'm very, very sure they will manage relationship with the locals better. But beyond that, it's a good development. At least it also shows that the local players have developed the capacities, to operate those wells and then ensure the continuous flow of crude oil from the assets that they are selling. But beyond the sale and the exit of Shell from the onshore facilities, we also need to look holistically. And I've always maintained Nigeria is one country that ticks all the boxes. Remember that we had this long-term goal of ramping up our national crude oil reserve from the current at 7 billion to 40 billion. And we also had arrangements and plans of ramping up daily crude outputs to 3 million to 4 million barrels per day from the level it was in 2011 when we are doing 2.4, 2.5 million barrels. Of course, our production tanked in 2016 following the hasty and ill-advised suspension of the amnesty program that Yar'Adua instituted, which forced the Delta militants to go back to the creeks and bombed our oil assets until output came down to 1.2, and that output had never gotten back to that level of 2014 and 15 till now. Of course, coupled with the mega stealing and the oil theft that happened under the Buhari regime unchecked. The Tinubu government has promised us that they will ramp up output to about 1.78 million. Yet this is not yet sufficient because, like I said, Nigeria has capacity and we have local players that can actually play and they depend. Nigeria is one place that can easily attract over 25 to 50 billion dollars on our across the whole value chain of oil and gas industry. If we go all the hog to put in place the requisite regulations, security in place to protect those assets. Remember, there was even a time Tony Elumelu, Oil chairman, was complaining bitterly after he bought the assets from Shell. He was expecting to spend almost $1 billion. They were expecting to ramp up output to about 60,000 barrels a day. And of course, the sabotage activities and the stealing that was taking place on their pipeline brought down that thing to about 5,000 barrels. He had to scream and shout before order was restored. So, like I said, the PIP has to be further amended, like to allow the communities more participation in protection of oil and gas assets, especially those that are onshore and those that are shallow offshore. Very, very important. Like I said, the only people that can protect the oil assets, the only people that can give it 100% cover are the locals who understand the terrain. Look at Saudi Arabia, 15,000 kilometers of oil pipeline. You will never hear that 1 inch of that pipeline was ever broken. They use a combination of technology and local support to make sure that nobody tampers with the whole assets of Aramco. So, and again, the NNPC on their own, like I've always said, total asset holding is estimated to be about $60 billion, both the offshore, the upstream and downstream. NNPC must take urgent steps, just like they are trying to do in concessioning the refineries in Port Harcourt to private investors. They should go beyond concessioning. NNPC should divert.
Okay, Mr. Barry, very interesting. I'm so sorry to interject you, sir, but we have a lot of disputes, with local communities, oil spills. human rights issues. We know all the way back to the days of Ken Saro-Wiwa. How will this sale influence the socioeconomic dynamics in the Niger Delta region as far as Shell SPDC is concerned?
I will tell you this. The Buhari government was the most insensitive government that ever governed, that ever ruled in this land. You remember they took off by flagging off the clean of Ogoni field and all those stuff, working with Shell. 8 years down the line, till today, nobody have told us how far they've gone with the cleaning. Buhari happened to be the most insincere ruler that ever graced this land, and we don't wish to have something like him again in the history of this country. Tinubu, I'm sure, has an oil and gas background. Remember, he was treasurer for Mobil at the downstream. He has a fair understanding of how the oil and gas industry operates. And of course, he has some very good team, especially in the area of the coordinating minister of the economy and finance minister, Wale. So I believe that, they should take this step. It's the bold step must be taken. They should encourage NNPC to divest. The government owns NNPC 100%, and it can never go well for efficiency. Like we have the Petrobras, the Emirates Oil, and the British Petroleum, and all the rest of them.
Yeah.
So Aramco, so they must divest 55% of their holding on NNPC. Federal government, it will unbundle at least $35 billion into our federation account, which will stave off most of these pressures, just like you had with the last discussant about the pressure that we are having on the Naira because of the insufficient supply.
So there's money to be made, you're saying, and the federal government needs to divest its shares in this joint venture.
They invest about 60 billion.
Okay.
The federal government should invest 55% of their holding in NNPC across the whole value chain.
Nnaemeka Obiaraeri, we have to go. You've given us fantastic analysis of the issues at play and given us a sense of what exactly is going on. And we look forward to seeing how this pans out. And definitely we look forward to having you again on the station. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Nigeria's National Orientation Agency has issued a stern warning to the Olu of Owode Egba, Obiaraeri Showemimo, for his involvement in what has been termed the abuse of the Nigerian currency, the Naira, during his 13th anniversary celebration. That's the anniversary of his ascension to the royal stool. Well, in a viral video, the Paramount ruler, Obiaraeri Showemimo, was captured decorating a musician with garlands made from 1,000 Naira notes during the ceremony. The NOA, in a statement signed by and directed to the monarch, on Tuesday, condemned the act, categorizing it as an abuse of the national currency. The DG of the NOA, Lanre Isa Onilu, referred to Section 21, subsection 3 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007 as amended, which explicitly states that activities such as spraying, dancing, or stepping on the Naira during social occasions or otherwise constitutes an abuse and defacing of the currency. The law prescribes punishments including fines or imprisonment, or both, for such offenses or actions. Well, Isa Onilu called on the monarch to align with the agency in its efforts to combat what it calls indiscriminate abuse of the Nigerian currency. Only time will tell if the agency will invoke the law over this monarch. All right, Nigeria Tonight continues with a look at the latest from the world of sports. Let's take this report.
And in sports, three-time African champions, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, were wasteful in their 1-1 draw with the Nzalang National of Equatorial Guinea in Abidjan on Sunday. Reigning African Footballer of the Year, Victor Osimhen, and left-back Zaidu Sanusi missed good chances for the Super Eagles in the game. Nigeria now face an uphill task as they battle the host nation, Côte d'Ivoire, on Thursday in a make-or-mar clash. Atalanta star Ademola Lookman and captain Ahmed Musa are optimistic of achieving a positive result on Thursday.
Well, I think obviously we know the importance of the game. just like we did in the first game, and we want to win. But we know it's going to be a big challenge, a big fight for us, and obviously we're going to need to fight and look for that result, which we're up for. I think Cote d'Ivoire have a strong team also, quality players. We know that, but we also have quality players. We have the players that can hurt them, and so do they. But we have to show that on the occasion, and have to show that on Thursday. And but we also have to fight and to defend and to challenge them. And yeah, we're looking forward to that. I think we're all motivated, self-motivated players. I don't think. I think everybody knows the importance of this tournament, and obviously wearing this badge. So I don't think the motivation is a topic. I think we're all motivated.
The last time we played against them, we won 2-1 with all the big stars that they have. But now we know that they are host country. They'll come all out to do whatever they want to do. But we know that the both country are very good in playing good game, good football. But we just have to win that game because we need that game. The both teams are under pressure because for them, they are under pressure from the fans, and for us, we are under pressure to win. So the both teams are under pressure. So we are just going all out to, at the end of the day, the best of luck to all the country.
All right, you're back home.
My message to Nigeria back home is just to keep on supporting us, praying for us, and inshallah we'll make them proud.
Thank you.
Super Eagles forward Umar Sadiq has been included in Real Sociedad's 22-man squad for Wednesday's Copa del Rey round of 16 fixture at Osasuna. Sociedad announced the squad for the cup game on their X handle on Tuesday. Sadiq's inclusion in the squad has raised eyebrows in Nigeria since he was released from the Super Eagles AFCON team due to injury. He was then replaced by Trabzonspor striker Paul Onuachu, who was in action in the 1-1 draw against Equatorial Guinea. There were reports on social media questioning the hastiness in which Sadiq Umar was allowed to leave the team's camp only for him to resume training with his club teammates. And that's a wrap on Sport Updates. I am Udoka Njoko. The news continues shortly.
And that's all at this hour. Before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. An explosion has destroyed the popular Ace Mall in Ibadan as well as other buildings impacted. President Tinubu has met security chiefs over a rising insecurity. And we also told you that U.S. courts have ordered the return of a looted $8.9 million to Nigeria. We would like to hear from you as safe as possible. Send us your eyewitness reports using the WhatsApp number or email address on your screen. As you can see, we're active on the major social media platforms. Give us a follow at News Central TV. And you can watch News Central TV live on these channels and platforms. Many thanks for watching. On behalf of the entire team, my name is Kofi Bartels, Nigeria. Good night.